Hello, everyone. It's April again. How are you? I just want to do my little statement where if you can hear the music in the background, I don't have the rights to it. I just like listening to music while I do things, and I'm working on a flower right now. And I wanted to jump on and discuss my book, like why I wrote it, what gave me the drive to truly break down to God, why I named it God's Godly Heartfelt Healing. I named it that way because I was literally lost. I was broken and I couldn't grasp life. I couldn't even, I found God in church, but there was more. I felt like there was more to God that they weren't telling us. Like the church just cares about tithing and community and sorry, I see it was really dark, so I was trying to make it brighter. I have the ceiling thing on, but it's not bright enough. So, there is so much more to God than what the church teaches us. So much more. And my book doesn't really cover it all either, so don't expect me to really dig deep in there. I'm just giving you the basis of how to heal yourself and I gave you some books that I read, but I didn't actually. I'm not just a book reader. I follow a lot of great spiritual people who are monks and who were formal monks, and they're spiritual teachers. I believe in Chinese medicine. You know, I was in school at Ivy Tech, and I got my phlebotomy, and I was going for my RN, and when I had that aha moment that, society is lying to us, our educational is programming us to do bad to people and hurting them. We're not helping them get better. They're only medicating them and making them worse. You know, Doctors got into it either for two reasons, to help people or for the money. And those who make money are the ones really hurting people because those who got in it to help people literally furthers their education and learn that what they are programmed to do is not helping their patients. So they started even going outside of their scope and getting into Chinese medicine, which is called alternative medicines. When you get into this because you have a passion to help people and to see them have a good life, your whole aspect is different. You know, I was so broken and I had a good doctor. I loved my doctor that I was going to. She was amazing. You know, but she really wasn't helping me. She was doing the same thing. She would look at my symptoms and go to the reference books that they have. They have books that they reference, and that's how they tell you what medicines and medications to prescribe you. Well, that is not how your body works. It wasn't meant to be prescribed a prescription. It was meant to ask how you're doing. How are you handling stress? Are you getting enough exercise? Everything plays a part in our body. And if you're not addressing the pain, if you're not getting enough exercise, if you're not eating well, God's food is the best food. I will repeat that. God's food is the best food. If it's not planted outside and you're not eating it from the ground, it's not good food. The longer the shelf life, the more it hurts your body. And people are devouring Wendy's, KFC, McDonald's. All that is bad for our bodies. Yeah, they might be giving you the calorie intake and all that, but there's so many chemicals and additives in it that it's hurting our bodies. Our bodies was not meant to ingest dead food. It was meant to ingest fruits, vegetables, um, fermented foods. Sorry, I had to think of my word. Which fermented is your pickled foods like cheese, anything God made, we were meant to eat it raw unless there was a stimulation like for herbs and tinctures and things like that. Yeah, it's better to brew them. It's better to make them with what is it? I don't know what you call alcohol when you, I guess you, when you age it. So I don't know all the technical things, so don't quote me. But I love this book, and I have talked about this book before. And I'm going to start actually going through the chapters of this book because this book is so amazing. It talks about how to make the tinctures, what they're good for, how much you should take. There's tinctures, salves, and tonics. And everything in the book is about how to alkaline your body because when the body is an alkaline, you will not get sick and nothing can live in it. Cancer, any kind of disease that they think of, or anything. Your body is in total ultimate health when you eat from God's food. And they tell us that we have to eat 3 meals a day. No, you don't. If you eat the right foods, you can eat 1 meal a day. You just have to eat the right foods. Your nuts and berries, all that God made. What the squirrels eat, you can eat. What the birds eat, you can eat. Yeah, I know it doesn't sound appetizing, but you can still make your salads with it. You can still dress it up to where you like it. You don't have to eat it just like they do. You know, we have been so brainwashed to think that we have to have so much of this and so much of that. No, when you eat God's food, our body literally distracts everything and diffuses it to our organs and gives us the nutrients that we need daily and everything. That's why God made so many varieties of fruit, so many varieties of vegetables, so many variety of herbs, because all of those work with our body on a daily. The minerals that are in there are meant for our body. The proteins in it are meant for our body, and everything, the calcium, sugar, natural sugar from our fruits that works with our body. When you eat cakes and pies and little Debbie snacks, all that is bad for our body. It is negative. That's why so many people are getting diabetes because they're eating the wrong sugars for their body. And then the damn doctors are saying, oh, well, if you eat fruit, it's bad for you. No, it is not. It is the best for your body. It is a natural sugar that God put in there for your body. Honey is a natural sugar for your body. Syrup is natural, and maple. Those three, those things should be what you are sweetening your teas with, your coffee with. Um, if you want milk, go get a goat. Drink that kind of milk. Don't buy the ones in the store. They are taking out all the nutrients in it. I make my own almond milk. If you want me to share that, I can in the description. Just let me know. But it's so easy to make. I take 5 almonds, literally. I blend them up in my little food processor. Excuse me. And I soak them with rice that I take a cup of rice. I also blend it up into a powder. I soak it overnight in a, I'm so sorry. I have this tickle in the back of my throat, and it's been happening for a couple weeks now. I don't understand it, but you soak it overnight, and the next day is the milk. Do not keep the leftover and try to make something with it. It does not taste good. I have tried. I just throw it away. And I add a can of coconut milk, a hint of cinnamon, which is I would say about half a tablespoon, and then I sweeten it a little bit with a heaping spoonful of honey. That way it takes out the bite. But yeah, that is so good for you. And you can do that with cashews or there's almonds, cashews, whatever you want to soak, whatever. Any kind of nut you want, you can try that with. And like I said, you just do it for the day. Overnight, by the next morning, it's ready. Or you can just do rice milk. You can just do that. You don't even have to put nuts in it if you're allergic to nuts. But I highly recommend making your own. But if you want milk and you're one of those people who crave it, then you either need to get the cow yourself or a goat, because those two are the best milk they have. And like I said, the um, the nut milks, rice milk. It's so easy to make, and you can YouTube it. There are people out there that are showing you how to make this stuff, and it doesn't cost as much as you think. You can go to Aldi's, and a big thing of nuts, I think now they're $15. They were $12. Of course, everything is, inflation, which is BS, but you have to know and not be scared to get out of your comfort zone and learn new things. I know you know a lot now, but you still get in that mindset that you don't know everything and you need to know everything. When God put this book on my heart, like I said, I was broken. I was almost 400 pounds when I started writing this book. I had just lost my dad. I felt completely lost. My son was 10 at the time. No, I'm sorry. He was 8 at the time, because I was 28. So that means my son was 8. Me, my son, and my mom were all 20 years apart. That's how I could remember. And I kept telling God, I can't do this. I can't do this. Take over. Jesus, take the wheel. I love that song by Carrie Underwood. She's an amazing singer, and that song, I don't remember when it came out, but I do remember how much that impacted my life. Yeah, Jesus, take the wheel. And I just literally dropped to my knees and I said, God, you got to show me another way. You got to take over. You got to do this. My way is not working. So what am I to do? And every day I kept praying that and praying that. Help me. And then once I started getting stronger and started building my self-confidence back up, my prayers started becoming, teach me to be more like Jesus. Teach me to be more like Jesus. Helping others, serving others. I was always serving others by being a certified nurse assistant. I always loved doing home care. I love one-on-one care, because I can really get to know my client. I can benefit them more. I can teach them more. And I got to the point where I just completely, I didn't understand how the body made, how it worked. And when I went to school, I wasn't working at the time either when I started going back to school, because I had hurt my back. And I realized I was hurting my back because I was eating junk food. I wasn't providing my body the nutrients it needed to take care of me. And I knew deep down that there were days I felt magnificent. And then there were days that I just felt horrible. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't walk. I just was miserable. Well, when I got into school, I took a nutritional class, and our assignments for the whole semester, which is a 6-week semester, we had to literally do a food journal. We had to write down everything that we ate from the time we woke up to the time we went to sleep. That meant drinking, anything that went into your mouth, you had to write it down. And she made us, do the calorie counts, do everything that was, the work. Literally, like anytime we got something from the school, we had to write all the little ingredients in there, and then we had to research the ingredients. And what they're trying to tell us is good is not good. That's why I learned anything on the shelf, if it has a long shelf life, the worse it is for you. And so, when this whole COVID stuff started happening and everything was flying off the shelf, I would get so angry. I'm like, you're killing yourselves, because the shit on the shelves is not food. The shit on the produce is food. That's what your body needs. And that's what was not going anywhere. Literally, the shit on the shelves was, and it was so, I remember coming home crying and being so upset that people were so brainwashed they thought the shit on the shelves was good for them. And I was like, my mom was on the same thing, and I was like, no, Mom, we need to be eating. I had her on oranges, and we were eating all the fruits that we needed, all the vegetables. I told her we weren't going to cook them. We would just steam them a little bit, like fresh fry them real quick or whatever it's called. I don't know how. But I don't like my stuff mushy. But my mom didn't have teeth, so we had to think of something else. But, I learned, God gave me the mindset to learn, not to pass. I didn't want to pass school. I just wanted to learn. I mean, don't get me wrong. I went to school to get an education and a degree. Like I said, I was going for a registered nurse. And when I read the books, literally read them to understand them, I understood that there were nutrition that each organ went on, and how when it got the right food, it would stay in ultimate health. And I'm thinking, holy crap. They aren't teaching us to literally learn. They're teaching us to just get us into the field. And then since people aren't actually processing the information, they don't understand that if you eat the right thing, your body will be fine. If you address your pain and you address your sorrow, people want to bottle it up, or they want to drink it or smoke it or get high or do some kind of recreational drug that alters their pain, which it's still there. You need to address it, work through it. When you work through your pain, you set yourself free. And that is essential for healing. When you are healed and you allow God to teach you, I mean, literally, God is my teacher. Like, I don't turn to anyone else. When I want to know something, I turn to God. And then when I hear something that I want to learn, I turn to God to ask Him to teach me, or put the material or the person into my path that will allow me to teach, to learn. I am teachable, and I want to be a teacher. It takes both mindsets to be the person God needs us to be. And there's so many people out there that I see that are so negatively programmed. They think that, because somebody's correcting their behavior, that they're criticizing them. No, they're trying to teach you to be the best version of yourself. They're trying to help guide you. They're giving you the guidance to do your job correctly in the best form that can be. Is everyone always right? No. But you don't shut them down. You just take what you need out of it, and then keep learning. Keep that mindset that you're learning. Keep that mindset that you're growing. Keep that mindset that you're going to be the best version of yourself. God needs us to be the best versions of ourselves, especially at this critical time, at this moment, because a lot of people don't want to believe it, but we are evolving as a race, the human race, and that God is making us better. He's not taking away what we're comfortable with. He's actually getting us out of our comfort zone and making our lives better, because when everything comes into play, our lives are going to be free, literally free. We are going to have more than we could ever imagine. And I know that's hard to grasp right at this moment, but if you literally turn to God and ask God to let you hear with His ears, let you see with His eyes, and let you understand and process with His mindset, it will happen. And you pray that every day. And that's what I pray now every day, because I want to understand with God's understanding, not man's. And we are never going to know everything, but if we ask God to put people in our path to help guide us and lead us in the right directions, He does. And I promise you, every time I want to learn something, He always puts the person or material I need to read in my path. And I am applying it, and I am doing the work. But I have this, I can't even remember who I got, but you're supposed to work smarter, not harder. And I tell people, you're working too hard. Why are you doing that when you could do it this way? And, sometimes they're nice about it, and they'll say, oh, well, I didn't know I could do it that way. Or, I didn't know if I especially with people who don't know computers. There's so many ways to do something, to get something. There's so many different shortcuts that you can use. I love computers. If I didn't like home or healthcare, which I don't like it now, but if I would have been an IT person, because there's so many great things about a computer, and if you know how to utilize it in its best form, it's great. Yes, I will understand when it crashes, it's not so great. I've had those problems too. But, you know, God is my best friend. Like, I talk to him when I first wake up, I talk to her when I go to sleep, I thank her, and I even talk to her in my dreams. I mean, when I meditate, I start meditating, right? That's how I wind down to go to sleep. Even when I'm really sleepy, I still use the meditations to help me. Sometimes lately I've been doing guided meditations because I'm just trying to keep reprogramming myself to be positive, to be grounded, to be centered in God's love and peace and acceptance, because that's who we need. That's who I want. And the more I feel drawn to God, the more I want to feel closer to God. And, so many people, when I first started hearing God, it's not like it's going to be a voice that you resonate with. It's not going to be this big godly, deep voice. It's going to, when you start hearing God, which most people do hear God, and they just, it's like their own voice, so they don't think it's God. Let's put it as it's probably your higher self, which you are a God, so that's why the voice resonates with you. It's just going to resonate with you. I know I'm not the best teacher of this, so I'm trying to utilize the words that will resonate with you. Like I always teach my girls, all my girls that I mentor, you take the information that resonates with you. What doesn't, you release and don't pick it up. Don't even just, you know how to filter through one ear and out the other. We hear that a lot. Oh, I just put one ear and out the other. So just only take what resonates with you. Only do what resonates with you. You know, you need to get into the state of meditation at all times, especially when you get upset. You know, you can do meditation with your eyes open. People don't realize that. Yes, you can. You can do that. You literally be in a state in your car, and if you're having anxiety, you instantly start breathing. God gave us that ability to instantly calm us if you breathe correctly. And this is breathing. You want to take that deep breath in and out. Some people say you have to go out through your mouth. You do not. But you have to go in through your nose because that's what fills up your lungs. And you want to make sure you go past your lungs to your diaphragm, which the diaphragm is when your belly comes out. So when you see your belly rise, that is filling up your diaphragm. Do that and then slowly let out it. And do that as many times as you need to, especially when you're upset, especially when your anxiety is off the roof. And I also want you to do more of, is it really your anxiety, or is it somebody in a vehicle next to you, or if you're in your office, is it somebody next to you? Feel it out. And if you get a name that pops in, it's that person. And guess what? You can actually say their name, swipe, and say, I disconnect from them. I'm not taking, that's called transference emotions. And you just say, I'm not going to take on their emotions. I have my own to deal with. And you just hand them over to God. And you can do that with anybody, your family members, your parents, your siblings, anybody that you're close with, it's going to happen with. And anybody you're not close with, if you're going to a party and you feel all that anxiety and nervousness, anxiousness, you feel sexual emotions, you feel sadness, grief, those are people in that room. And literally, if you just look at them and just swipe, I'm not taking on their emotions. If you know their names, it's better to just say their names, but you don't know everybody in the room. So if you just look at them, you're like, I'm disconnecting from you. And it helps you. And you'll notice it instantly. Literally, I thought it was a bunch of shit at first too. I'm sorry. I wasn't raised to believe in transference and what I'm talking about. I mean, this is all new to me. Like, I've only been studying since 2013. Empath. I'm very empathic. People look at me and think I have no idea what I'm talking about. Like, I can walk into a room and know their emotions, their feelings, they literally transfer to me. Like, it's hard. Uh, like when you go into work and you know somebody's pissed off, you didn't even know they were pissed off until, you know, some people don't know until they start talking. I know when I walk into the door. Like, I'll be like, oh, you're not having a good day. And they just kind of look at you, or they shoot off at the mouth or whatever, you know. You do know God gave us 6 senses. 6. You only know about smell, sight, taste, hear, and then there's your emotions out here, your energy frequencies. Every emotion has an energy frequency. Every emotion has an energy frequency. Anger, sadness, grief, sorrow, doubt, not, you know, you feel somebody who has confidence and strength, and who's bitter, who's broken, who's just dead inside. And that literally hurts my heart when I feel people are that way. I know what that feeling feels like. I was that way when I started writing a book. And it just kept getting worse as the years got by. But the first step was literally seeking God out and asking Him to be my teacher, asking her. I mean, you got to realize God is masculine and feminine. So you will hear me say both, her or him. But for the longest time, I used to always say him because I always thought God was a man. But no, God is masculine and feminine, and you can't have God without either one. So that's why there are masculine and feminine in each being, because each being has a masculine and a feminine side. Some are out of balance and out of whack. That's why some of them are more cryful and sorrow or clingy, or, you know, the more out of the yin and the yang that you are, the worse that's what you're going to be, more feminine or more male. I mean, the more you get into Chinese medicine, the more you'll learn about the yin and yang, and the right side is male, the left side is female. When you are in total balance, your body has an aura that goes just like this all the way around you. And there are kids that can see it. And if there are some adults, of course, if the more grounded that they are, they can see it too, and they can see the light. And most people, if you're more manly, masculine, it means you're out of balance, because you will be, when you're in balance, you will have, you know, you will, I don't know how to explain it because it's not really something, I can feel it. I feel when people are out of balance. And more masculine, even as a female, we're more prone to, we're determination. We got to drive. We do with, we just do. We don't need somebody to hold our hand. Feminine, more energy. They're more sappy, cry, clingy. Just, they're more dependent on somebody, not independent. So that's the best way I know how to explain it. But if you literally start researching and asking God to help you understand Chinese medicine, it will help you understand the real nature of our bodies, our vessels, the beings, the frequencies, and everything is frequency. And pretty soon, we will be going to frequency for healing. I already do frequencies for healing. Tuning forks that were meant for instruments are actually meant for our bodies, because when you hit a tuning fork, those who are understanding what a tuning fork is, it helps tune the body. It helps tune um, the organs in your body, your whole aura, that's the word I'm looking for, can also be out of tune. It will help tune that too. I love tuning forks. I wish I had them, but I don't have them yet. But I'm going to get them. And once I get them, I will show you how they work. And whatever you're having issues with, you can actually hold one of the tuning forks over the area of the body. And if you tap it, it will actually help attune that organ. Like there is a woman, her name is Sherry Edwards. She lives in Ohio. She does sound healing. If you look her up on YouTube, I think she's got a YouTube channel. I'm not 100% sure now, but she does sound healing, and that's all she does is she goes through and works through your body, and she can actually hear it. Her hearing is that good, and then she intunes that. I don't know how she does it. I've never really seen it, but she intunes it with whatever she uses, and then she'll give it to you, and that's how it heals you. But she is an amazing woman that can do that. And when she was a child and they told her she was schizophrenic, no. When she literally trusted her inner self, she learned that no, that's what God's gift to her was. That was how she helped heal people. She's healed so many people just by understanding the frequencies of the body and frequencies of the environment that match the frequencies of the body that's how she healed it. It's amazing. She tells her story. I highly recommend, if you like channels, Alpha Verdict. They do some amazing interviews with people who are holistic and homeopathic and all natural believers. I can't think of the words right now. I apologize, but most people that they interview, they all live off grid. They all take care of themselves. They create their own food. They all are farmal. I can't think of the word, but they all have their own farms. They grow their own foods. They take care of their own animals. They call it something, and I'm sorry, I'll have to write that stuff down and really break it down to you, because they are great people. They're great resources to learn from. Alpha Verdict, they've been doing it for 8 years now, and they're even making their own platform because they're tired of YouTube and Facebook and all these other media platforms censoring the truth. They want to get this truth out there, so they're starting their own platform and getting it into other people's hands. There is a small fee because it's not cheap to do this. When you get out of the matrix and start doing it for yourselves, you got to take everything out of, because when you're in the matrix, they pay for their platform through commercials. They are doing everything out of their own pocket. They're doing it with their own time. I really highly recommend them. They're great people. Again, if you're on Telegram, you can find them, Alpha Verdict. I used to follow them every week, but now I just watch their YouTube. On Thursdays, they put out a new podcast on YouTube. But they give a lot of information about everything. They don't just teach you about how to survive off grid. They teach you about all the shit that's going on, that's lies. They teach you about anything that you really want to know and how they're doing it. And they even have I think a web store on the website. Every time they do a podcast, they put everything in their descriptions in the video. So if you are interested in more holistic, they have a store. They have classes that they're offering or courses. You can also go into their Telegram room, and they have everything that they have ever taught. They have files that you can go through and read. And, Mike and Dr. Bear are the ones who really run it, but they're great guys. Dr. Bear, he's an actual doctor who's been doing holistic. I can't remember how long he says. 35, 40 years. I don't know. It's been a long time, but he's not he's not in society anymore. They actually only do people that, who knows him, who knows them, who knows, because they aren't going to be pushed to put pharmaceuticals. They're not pushed to give vaccines. They know how evil those are. They understand that what the government and the people of power push to put into people is harmful. And they understand that it's not what the body needs. It's when you address the pain and the suffering and the outside bullshit, and not cover it up with recreational drugs or just bottling it up and try to think it's going to go away. It's not going to go away. Every pain in your body, every emotion causes disease. When you worry, when you're in a fear base, when you're stressed, all that causes havoc on your body. And when you sit there and fret over it, that's what causes the so-called disease that they call. And when you're not eating well, and you don't drink plenty of water, all that plays a part in your health. It's heartbreaking to find out the truth, but I would rather know the truth and start healing myself than relying on somebody else. That's why I say to a lot of people, God is not an outside source. He is an inside source. And when you learn the ability to quiet your mind and talk to God within, you will be more at peace. The peace that God gives you is when I say you will feel more in balance, more love, more confidence, more strength to get through things. Because when you truly understand who God is, nothing out here matters no more. Like, it's just what it is. You don't have the chaos anymore. Like, I remember not being able to quiet my mind, like, never. Like, even when you slept, it was still in the chaos I had. That's how mine was. But when I learned how to meditate and I focused on my breath, and once I got into my breath, I started focusing on my heartbeat. Once I focused on my heartbeat, I started focusing on the light. The light within is better than the light without. And you can change anything with inside when you focus on it. And when you focus on what you want to know, God reveals. Sometimes instantly, sometimes it takes a few days. I think it just depends on your ability to frequency with God. I don't know why sometimes it's instant and sometimes it takes a while, because there are times that it's instant. Sometimes I'm just like, ugh, and it takes a couple weeks and somebody will be in my path. And I do know, if somebody's on your heart, like, say you're in a store, and I know this is awkward, but say you're in a store and you're in line, but God's telling you, literally, he's like trying to push you towards somebody and you ignore it, that person had the information you needed. Or say you were walking down the street and you sit on a bench and somebody sits beside you, and God's like telling you to talk to them. That person had the information for you. If you're in that mood where trust me, I'm that person sometimes. I don't want to be bothered with people. And if you understood why, I go out all the time and people are always trying to talk to me, tell me all their problems, all their, everything that's going wrong with them. And I mean, they'll tell me everything, like little details that you would not think they would tell people, but they tell me. And sometimes I have to put on that aura that, please just don't address me. Don't come near me. And then sometimes that's where I eliminate my messages. And that's when I hurt some other people too, because what if I had something that they needed? It's just like when you hear that story, when a single mom's praying she needs a gallon of milk. Well, somebody at the store got that prayer. They don't know how they got the directions to get there. They just know that they were supposed to deliver that milk. Well, that was God. When you see somebody and they're begging for money and then you get that instant, give them the money. That's God. That's God pushing you. That's your angels pushing you because they really need it. And I only listen to that voice. I won't listen to any other voice. I listen to the voice that's within that tells me, yes, they need it. Yes, they need it. Yes, they need it. Because there's so many now, especially now, that are acting like they need money and they really don't. They just don't want to go out and get a job. And I don't approve of that. Um, I I wrote the book to help me heal. And I didn't want to just heal. I wanted to heal God's healing because I don't want to carry everything. And I didn't understand why some people could hear God. I used to get so angry with that. Like, why did everybody in the Bible could hear God, but why can't we hear God now? Because they don't teach us this. They don't teach us in church that you can hear God. They're saying that the only way you can hear God is through the pastor, through the priest. No, that is not true. Just like back in the days where they didn't used to let you have a Bible. Yeah, they wouldn't let you because we wouldn't be able to decipher it. Well, no, because they just didn't want us to be close to God. They have literally taken us away from God's true the temple, which temple is actually nature. People don't understand that. That's why when you're in nature and you pray together, the more people who pray in nature, you're grounded. Especially if you were barefoot, your feet are conductors of the land. And the more grounded you are to the land, the more Mother Gaia, God, the source, hears you and allows whatever the universe needs to do to align with whatever you're asking for works. You hear stories all the time when people come together and pray for somebody, they immaculately heal or they immaculately get better or, whatever it may be. Lately I've been asking God, how did you bring, I can't remember his name. It starts with a Z. I want to know how God brought people back from the dead. Like, how did he do that? Like, he wasn't even near. Why can't I remember this man's name? I know everybody knows who I'm talking about in the Bible, where he's somewhere and they come to him and tell him that I don't think it was his disciple. I don't remember if it was his brother. I'm sorry, I'm not really into the Bible, but I do know that they can magically heal people. I do know that they have brought people back from dead. And that's why most people don't want to be cremated because they want their body, but that's just a vessel. If God wants you to come back, you're going to come back. And I don't know how it works, and I am still waiting on that information, but I don't know if God will reveal it. If he does, he does. If he don't, I don't. It wasn't my gift to have. But I know what you go within, God reveals. And there's still some things that I've been waiting on because I do want to know how Nikola Tesla created the energy turbulence. If you haven't heard about Nikola Tesla, you should really research him because his creation is what's going to change the world. It is coming back, and we will have free energy. I feel by 2024, the whole way of living that we had thought is going to be different. Um, it's going to take a process because we're still trying to destroy the matrix of this corruption of our government, but it's coming because the people of power don't want anything free for the citizens. They like taking our money and giving taxes, and the corruption of this world is just unbearably crude. But things are going to come to a change. A lot of things are changing. Like I said, healing will be more in frequencies. There will also be medical beds that people will be actually able to lay in, and they will all be free, and they're called med beds, but you lay in them, and whatever is wrong with you, it doesn't matter what it is, they will actually take your stem cells and create a new or heal whatever. If you need a limb, it will create a limb. I don't know if you ever remember the show, oh God, what was that called? Armageddon? No, it wasn't that. Oh, I can't remember the show. Uh, it had Bruce Willis in it, and they got on a ship. And I remember it was just a hand. They put him in this machine, and it literally recreated this girl, and she got dressed. Hopefully you've already seen it. But anyway, that's what it will be like. But I don't know if it can go to that deep, but it can do, as long as it has the stem cells, it can recreate organs, limbs, heal anything in the body. And I'm super excited about it, but I can't wait, and it will be free. Nobody will have to pay for it. It will literally be free. And I told God, I've been telling God, I want to know how to work that machine. I want to be a part of this. That's when I want to get back into the medical field, and I'm not going to go back until it's that I'm in that when that comes. So, and I'm focusing on 2024. So, I don't know. I've been told they already have those medical beds in Switzerland. I don't know 100% how they work there because I haven't actually been exposed to the information. I just know that somebody else had told me that they had offered those in Switzerland. And Switzerland is way more advanced than we are. I mean, literally. If you research Switzerland, they don't even have pollution. They burn all their trash. They don't mess around. So I don't know how much advanced. And I also, I'm sorry, I lost the plane of thought. Oh, they also more advanced than us because they, what is it? They actually burn all the trash, and then they actually take the ashes and put it in the ocean, and it helps the ecosystem in the ocean. Literally, it helps regenerate everything in the ocean where they spread out the ashes. It's really interesting. You should really research it. Get out of your comfort zone. I would love to live in Switzerland, but one day I will visit it. But a lot of things will be transforming for the best. So if you're living in a fear-based mindset right now, please get out of it. Things are going to change for the better. Stop watching the news. They're lying to you to keep you in that fear base. The cabal, which are the evil people of power, cabal, they want you in the fear base because that's how they harvest their energy. The more fear that is going on, which right now they're losing because there's more of us who are more in tune with God's frequency, and happy in sharing our light of love. And I keep every day, evil ceases to exist because we are turning into a humanity who loves one another, who serves one another, who has compassion for each other. So that's what please start. If you do prayer, start praying that, or keep the mindset that evil ceases to exist. Evil ceases to exist. And put a purple flame around you to protect you and your family and your home. And each day, always start with evil ceases to exist. It will not touch us. It will not hinder us. It will not exist anymore. That God's children are risen, and we are here to spread love, kindness, and compassion for one another, to be a family, united, union together in love. We are the change. Literally, we are the change. We are going to make the difference that the world needs. And we are going to finally be free, literally free, not enslaved to money. So the more you get into the mindset that the world is evolving. It's not crumbling. It's evolving into what God always wanted man to have: freedom, free will, to be as free as the birds, to be free as the squirrels and the deers. You know, get out of the mindset that this is crumbling and everything's going to be scary. No, it is not going to be scary. Everything's going to be just as God had meant it to be at always. But fortunately, the cabal took over and brainwashed so many people, and the frequency that was running made you a fear base and able to be more programmed and spread lies and hurt you, and they literally thrive off your fear base. So get out of the fear base and turn into God. Please start meditating more. Start grounding yourself. Get outside and ground yourself to the ground. Literally, our feet are conductors of the land. The land's frequency will heal you if you get outside, get into the sun. Stop thinking the sun is your enemy. It is not. It is great melatonin, vitamin C, vitamin D, everything that you could even look at the sun. Look at the sun and understand that it's healing you. Like, there are so many people who are so scared of the sun and they wear toxic sunscreen. So you got to be careful with that as well. But get into God's frequency and ask God to help you. There's also some good frequencies on YouTube. Just put in God's frequency or healing frequency, or I do a lot of different ones. I do um, sometimes I just want to feel my guides closer to me, so I do that frequency. But you put frequencies in and put healing or um, there's all kinds of different kind of frequencies for different type of things for your chakras. Guided meditation. If you are kind of new at meditation, do the meditations, the guided meditations for beginners. There's lots of them, and they do help. I love them. But I have to get to bed. I know it's only 7:33, but um, I want to drink my tea, my evening tea. Oh, and I was supposed to be doing this flower. These are what I make. These little flowers. They're sunflowers. And if you get on YouTube, you can find them. But I didn't fix it. I was supposed to be making flowers for these, but I didn't do that this time. I'm sorry. I was supposed to be multitasking. I didn't do that today. But I want you to start getting closer to God by just going within, learning to breathe. That is essential to getting close to God, is breathing. I'm not going to lie to you. When you learn how to take those deep breaths in, you awaken everything inside. Your brain, your lungs, your sight, your senses. You literally awaken them and get them working for you. So that's why it's so essential for you to be in control of your mind, you in control of your environment, you in control of your healing. Only you can do it. Only you can possess the keys that unlock your potential. And you can do it with God, and God will teach you. You just got to trust that and recognize who has to do it. God can't do it for you. He will show you and He will equip you with the right tools, but you have to utilize them and you have to apply it. So get into the mindset that you're going to take charge of your environment. Get out of the TVs, get out of Netflix. All that shit is meant to distract you and brainwash you and keep you into the matrix. If you want to stay in the matrix, go ahead, but I'm not. I'm going to evolve. I'm ready for a new world. I'm ready for a life of freedom. I want to live off the land and enjoy horseback riding and beaches and traveling to other countries. other cities, hell, other states. I just want to see everything that God has to offer and learn from as many people as I can, because I love learning, and I know I will never learn everything. And there's so many things out there worth learning, not being distracted from. So when you change your mind and you literally want to take control of you, do it and let God help you. Let Him literally give you the guidance and the tools that are necessary to be successful in healing yourself. Because when you heal yourself, you'll heal your next generation. You'll heal the generations before you. Because when they see you can do it, that will give them the drive to heal themselves as well. And that's what you got to pray. Remember, you can't heal nobody. You can pray for them and you can plant the seed, but you can't do the work. They have to do the work, no matter what people think. They have to do the work. Well, I don't want to make this any longer, and I thank you for your time. I greatly appreciate you watching. I love you, and have a wonderful evening. God bless you. I love you.